It's Nerding Out with Dirty Pirate.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.
Arr.
Hey.
What's up, Scotty?
Hey, Dirty Pirate. How's it going, man?
Doing great, bud. Doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm
Yeah, we've been trying
flashing as always.
We've been trying to set it up for a while and ended up doing twitching in between, and so it's finally good to kind of get you here. And I know we talked about it on the Twitch stream the other night, kind of like your background and stuff, so we can like get into that. And we'd been twitching the Soaz War, which was an epic event, and I did a podcast with those guys last night. It was pretty fun to kind of rehash, and it'd be kind of cool to talk about it from an L perspective too.
Yeah, that Soaz War was a lot of fun. I hated for us to be winning the whole day, and then we just didn't come out on top at the end. But Soaz guys are nothing but class. So
yeah,
if we had to have a draw with somebody, I'm glad it was in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And then of course, like I'm one of the last attacks, and I choke on the 9, and
nah, it's all right.
It was,
man.
And I think it was I was talking with them. I'm like, it was the jump spell at the end, but it was honestly when I came back out of there and I saw it was a draw, I was like, that's cool.
It ended in a way where most of the time I would have been really ticked off, but we had a lot of L guys over there. They had a lot of Soaz guys with us, and it was more of a match. I'm glad it ended the way it was. So it was fun.
So like just as like a recap, kind of what happened, because it came up really really quickly. We attempted to match with Soaz. We did it on Thursday night. It didn't work. And the thing is when we started to try to match up, I said to them, because Britney Spears was over and Soaz warring with them, I said, I'm willing to try it if we want to look at the numbers, see, if it's possible without having to do much work. I'm like, also, we could swap players, because, we've tried doing matchups in the past and it
fails.
It fails, and then you're sitting there after it, and people are sitting out.
Nobody's warring that wants to war, and it just
And so the first one, I really didn't announce it much to even the clan. I kind of talked about it a little bit in chat, but it was like, let's just run the numbers, see if it's possible, what we'd have to do, and with the minimal amount of disruption, and it went off really well. And then the next Saturday night, we were going to try it again. MC, Nate, T-Wise, and I'm Sen. Oh man.
Yeah.
All those guys were working really hard on crunching numbers, and then pared it down to 20 versus 20. And so we swapped, we lent them some of our 10s, some of their 9s came over, and we made it work that way. And it was a really, really cool collaboration, basically, because it was like, we want to match, let's try it. It's probably the best shot that we have. And I was out of internet service all day Saturday, and so I barely got reception, got on, it was like 10 at night or 11 at night, and I see, we match Soaz.
I was pretty excited. I did the same thing. I wasn't paying attention to it. I was like, surely this is going to be another fail. We're trying to match up with somebody again.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get it, because I don't think we've ever purposely got one that we actually wanted. And at least that I've been around. And we finally get Soaz, and I was just like, I almost dropped my iPad. I was like, really? We got one. I was excited. I was excited.
It was like looking at it, like, I can't believe it actually happened. Like, it actually worked. And it was one of those things that were, if this doesn't work, this is probably the last time we ever try matching. Because
right.
Because
it takes so much work for those guys, and I got nothing but respect for the guys on the Soaz and the guy on L. All the work that Papa and Scrub, and I think it wasn't Papa. I guess it was Scrub and RM and
RM. Nate, T-Wise,
and Nate,
Sen,
and T-Wise, yeah,
JD.
all those guys. It's just like it takes so much work to do all that. I'm glad we got them on our team. I don't want to be one of those guys.
No, it was funny because, yeah, I know, because I went into the group me chat to set, we're setting it up. I'm like, well, let me know if you need any help. And MC was like, if you want to get some wall counts and put it into the spreadsheet, go ahead. And I thought, okay. And so I went to look at the spreadsheet, and I'm like, I have no idea what the hell any of this means. Because it's got like cannon counts, and so I'm like,
it took some work. I saw the spreadsheet too, and I said, "Holy hell,
yeah.
there ain't no way I want to mess with this." I said, "I'll leave it up to you guys. Y'all just let me know if I can help you."
Yeah. Oh man. So it matched, and you got to attack. L guys.
Yeah, I was going after Big Fry, and Mailman kept, there was no really smack talk the whole time. But Mailman decided he wanted to start running his mouth just to try to get some rivalry blood going.
Oh yeah.
And I said I want nothing better than to just sack his base. And anyway, I got the opportunity, and Mailman, you're listening out there. You know what happened.
The 2 stars. That was the fun part of it too. Was that we've been on the same team for a long time, and you see the matchup, and it's where we stack against each other,
right?
And to have the chance to go in and like attack your friends,
exactly. It's like we're all, as much as we play this game, we've all got a bond together now. Now that we hang out all the time, it's like I consider all you guys some of my better friends. It's crazy how you grow attached to these people and you talk to them online.
Yeah. Daily.
And then it's like you get the opportunity like that. It's like, hell yeah, I am going to cut his throat.
Yeah, it was a damn fun war. Great attacks all around. And it, like you said, we were ahead most of the day. And I knew like, and you had said that on the Twitch. You're like, this isn't over yet. And it was one of those wars where you kind of knew their strategy. It kind of looked like they might be in trouble at certain points. But damn, it's some great bases.
Well, I was feeling pretty confident all day long, but I knew they had some tricks up their sleeves. And going into the last 30 minutes or so, it was getting close. And then for them to finish the way they did and get, 3 stars in the last 60 seconds of the war, it blew my mind. I got hats off to those guys. That was to make it a draw. They had to get, granted it was Town Hall 10s attacking Town Hall 9s, but they did manage to get 3 3-stars.
Yeah, and I didn't manage to get a star,
That's all right, Scotty. Yeah. Scotty, we still love you, buddy. Yeah. We still love you.
But it was good, like I said, good bases. I wish I would have got my attacks in before we twitched. But I don't know if that would have changed anything. But it came down to something so close where it really reminded me of L before Clash Caller.
Right.
In a sense, where it was like, okay, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? See,
I don't like that stress of waiting. I don't like to be that last guy. I do so much better at my attacks if I can go earlier or halfway through the war. And there's no pressure. When you get that last hour, and everybody's like, you got to get this 2-star, or you got to get this 3-star. And I'm like, hell no, I don't want that.
Well, and it's funny too, because in that last hour, everybody who went before, like, that should kind of, I guess, always be like the mentality. But when it comes, like the 1-star or 2-star early, should matter just as much, but that pressure at the very end with the timers
it's rough.
So I just want to say congrats, Soaz, great war, and welcome to the newest co-leader who we made co-leader right before the war. Also, just a preface too, JD came over to House of L with the matchup. We made him co-leader. He pushed buttons to get things going, and so it was really cool working together. Really fun way to war for sure. So welcome MC Scrub, newest co-leader right before the war started, who went to Soaz and warred against us. But
he definitely deserves it. He Scrub's a good dude. Or McGruber.
McGruber. Ever since he started saying that, like every time I
oh,
see
it's so
his name,
funny, isn't it? It's so funny. I still don't know if he loves it or not, but we're gonna keep it going.
Well, it was funny too because you were talking to him about that on the Twitch stream, and I just remember the first time I was thinking the exact same thing. It was like McGruber, and then
well, if you glance at it, it's McGruber.
Yeah, yep.
But if you look at it, yeah, it's McScrub Jr., but it just flows like McGruber.
And I just say McGruber, and then the big bomb thing going off, like the
exactly.
We got to get this thing done.
I was doing fist pumps. I heard a Soaz podcast. I guess it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they called him McGruber, and I was laughing so hard.
Oh, they did, huh?
Yeah, they called him it on their podcast, and I was like,
awesome.
So it has started spreading. So.
It has. McGruber will live in infamy forever.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, let's go back to like the basics, like when you started playing.
Well, I look back on my my little thing that shows me when I started here on my Apple, and it says May 2013. So I've been playing a while.
Happy
and
Clash
when I
anniversary.
first started it, what's that?
Happy Clash anniversary.
Yeah, it's been a while. But I started just like anybody. I played it for a little bit and just picked it up like it was just another game. And it didn't really take a hold of me at first. I stopped playing it. I played it off and on for a month or so, and got into it pretty heavy 2 or 3 months later, and worked my way up to all throughout the Town Hall 8, enjoying every aspect of it. And
so, how did you play it at first? Did you max?
I didn't
everything?
really know what I was doing. I was just upgrading stuff, whether it was defense or offense. Whatever I could upgrade, I was upgrading. Didn't use any gems, anything like that at first. But and then it just gets to that point where I remember going to 8 and pretty much maxing out 8 except for walls. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go to 9. So I went to 9, started playing it, started upgrading everything. And not too far into 9, I said, it was probably about 2 months into 9. I said, the hell with this. I want some Inferno Towers.
Yeah.
And so that was my next thing. So I saved up my elixir and gold and went straight to 10. Dumbest thing I ever did.
Really?
Man, was that dumb. Well, come on. I mean, I was in a Town Hall 9 for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to experience all this. So I get to watch all our guys just really kick ass at some of these Town Hall 9s and all these fancy attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I went straight to 10 and missed all that. Because once you get to 10 and you put the Infernos on your base, you're getting paired with the big boys. You're getting paired with people you don't want to get paired with.
Ass handed to you without the right
exactly.
troop.
Especially when your troops aren't able to compete. So I played catch up for 6 months straight.
Did you say the other night that were the heroes out when you started?
Whenever I went to Town Hall 9, I don't remember the Queen being there, but it was like it was, I don't remember getting her until I was a 10, but I mean, It was I've been a 10 for a long time.
Yeah.
Like literally a long time. I couldn't even tell you when.
I know. I would guess I'd have to go back through the old podcast and be like, yeah, I went to 10 at this point, and I kind of jumped it up too. I think because of the Dark Elixir drills in the camps.
I just wish I would have listened to your podcast and all the other podcasts and just been a little smarter going up through it. Now I'm happy where I'm at, but at the same time,
yeah, you're a beast now.
With my mini, I'm a lot more okay. This is what I'm doing, and I know the game plan. But back then, I didn't have any. It was just me and some random family clans, and with my brother and some of the baseball players, and
And
wait.
how was that?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, but nobody had any direction.
Yeah.
It was just who was co-leader, who was the leader, and we really didn't know what we were doing. I mean, we were we just wanted to win wars. It was dragons all around. Everybody throw a dragon out there. Who's got dragons to donate? I mean, it was all about dragons, and
even at 10s, even as a 10, or was it just? I mean,
well, at 10 it was me just donating dragons to everybody, but it was me learning because I had such crappy troops. I was using dragons. I wasn't doing very good, but
yeah, and I don't even remember like when war started. I believe I was at 10, but I mean, you had to really like learn a whole new way of attacking.
Sure.
Because normally, even if you pushed it, in those war attacks, like the storages are used as defense. So I remember hogging, like doing my regular armies, and just things just not going well.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. It was a real trying time for me back then, but then I found House of L, and I started really learning the game that.
Yeah, and when you joined, you were, I think, down the map a little bit. I think you were. I just want to say, like, you were a couple under me.
Yeah, I was about 6 or 7 on the war map then.
Yeah, and I remember you went and upgraded your traps in like a week.
Exactly. I never thought, because I had been saving up all my gold just to go for the traps, and I never thought that once I finished all my traps that they would boost me up so high.
And they did, like, visibly.
Yeah, I mean, I went up about 4 spots just on traps, and so that.
And like it always kind of sucks going up higher.
No, it really did, especially that, and my heroes were still kind of iffy at that point. They were fairly decent, but it's been a battle. So
yeah, well, and of course you walk into House of L, and we weren't exactly having the most friendly matchups at the time.
No, it was miserable. Every matchup we ever had was an Asian clan that wanted to kick our ass with IMOD. It was ridiculous, the kind of matchups we get.
Or
but
like
to be honest with you, looking at it now, though, Scotty, I look at those things, and those are the matchups that made us better. And I look at where we're at now and how we're all just starting to gel as a team.
Yeah.
And all those guys that kind of stuck it out, you can tell everybody's really starting to click it. So
yeah, I agree. I think like those impossible matchups, what it did was forced the people to hit way outside of the league, and we were still like getting pretty close if we lost, like up against those max heroes all the way down to like 5 or 8, and
right.
So yeah, I agree. I think you can see that especially with the 9s and stuff too, where all of a sudden you started seeing like really high level walls and really high level 9s, and the 9s in L are just rocking it.
Yeah, they are.
Don't you love just watching them in the chat where they're just like?
I'm amazed at some of their attacks. I really am. I love watching them because they're so pinpoint, whether it's surgical hogs or the loons or the cold-blooded or the shattered, or I mean it's very intricate. Me, I'm a ground and pound. I'm gonna try to ram it up there somewhere, but yeah, look out! I'm just gonna throw everything I got at you, and but I got nothing but respect for those guys and their walls. Papa and Space and Ricky Bobby, their walls are ridiculous. It's nuts.
I know. They're like, I'm up to 72 lavas, or I can't remember who was saying that today. I'm like, I got 13 now.
See, and that's what I'm jealous of, to be honest with you. It's like, here I go. I basically skipped 9 because I was only there for a couple months. And I was in a Town Hall 10 with probably purple walls or pink walls.
Yeah, me too.
And, that just doesn't cut it as a 10 on 10.
No.
And then I look at, now I'm finally caught up with everybody and been just working my tail off on walls. But,
Well, how are you playing your second different?
well, the second, I don't play my mini much at all. I do play it off and on, but it's more of my son's account, and I just kind of help him, and I'm guiding it. And it started off as a defenseless base, didn't have any defenses whatsoever, and then one day my 5-year-old got a hold of it, and it had a 5 or 6 defenses on it. So
he's like, Dad, this is never going to work without defenses.
Yeah, he doesn't quite understand it, but I just have fun with it. So every now and then I'll get.
Your war matchup is not going to be very good if you. Yeah, he can explain that to like a 5-year-old.
That he just doesn't care.
So you just kind of play it every so often.
Yeah, I still like it, but I just don't have the time. I'd rather focus on my base and what's going on in L and everything like that than
it is
the
hard.
mini.
That's why I like the Soaz guys. They also they have like JD's almost got enough.
I don't know how you guys do it when y'all have like multiple accounts. More than 2 accounts is just mind blowing to me. I don't see how people do it.
He's almost got enough to create his own clan.
He really does.
And I'm like, I have a problem with my mini. I get burnt out. Like I'll go war in different clans, and I'm like, you know what? I need to just bring Brittany home, and that way I'm not like feeling like I should be in another chat, or feel like you need to be there, and when you're in war days in other clans. So I kind of think that it's gonna be like a 2 war or like every other war type thing, where I can go, and I've just actually been, now I don't even have any builders busy, because I'm just pumping it all into walls for a little bit.
Well, I'm at the point where I'm scared to upgrade anything else. I finally got, I think, all 12 cannons, and that was like the last thing I've been missing on my defenses. And now going to 13, and it's like I'm scared to bring any more hard matchups on the clan or myself.
Oh, and this is in on your main.
Oh, you're talking about your mini?
Yeah, that was my mini. But I'm doing the same thing on my main. Is I'm just farming DE so I can get my heroes up.
Right.
And I've been doing really good at that. So how are you? So you got your cannons to level 12.
Yeah, I got them there, and I got 1 at 13.
Do you think you would go to level 13 if they looked better?
I don't care about looks, to be honest with you. It's all about war for me. Honestly, it's all about war. I could care less about any other aspect of the game.
Is everything? Well, you're pushing now.
I'm enjoying pushing, but that's just more just to better myself for war. And honestly, that's the only reason I'm pushing. I could care less about the number on it. And it helps if everybody's doing it, and then I want the whole clan to have a big number. But at the same time, to me, I went through a bad time where I could not get the attacks that I wanted. Oh. So now this with the pushing thing just makes me basically have a war attack every time I attack, and it just gets to where it's muscle memory. It's just okay. Yeah. This is how I'm going to do it. And honestly, it has helped me out tremendous.
So where are you at in trophies?
I made it to 3,700. I think I was like the best I've ever had is like 3,701 about a week ago. And then I decided to get kind of crazy and try some new stuff out to see if I could limit the amount of DE I was using. And because I was using 4 or 5 golems about every attack.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's a lot of D.
Yeah,
and then you throw in a few Valks or whatever else, and it's just like it just drains.
Yeah, I think it was in the Twitch stream the other night when I was like, "Okay, this is working really great. Time to change it up."
Exactly. So I made it to 3,700, and I said, "Okay, now that I'm here, let's see what I can do to." So I tried some air attacks, and those went with. I mean, I'd win one, I'd lose one. but I'm not an air guy. I don't like the air at all.
You're a ground and pound.
Yes. Give me the ground troops, and it's nice when you get a 3-star on a ground attack. But
yeah,
but it's getting there. I'm really starting to learn the ground game. So,
and are you gonna try some of those mass witch attacks?
Well, Scotty, whenever I first saw the Hocus Pocus on whatever YouTube video I watched it on, I tried it a few times at war, and I really thought I was going to jump off a bridge because every time I try it, it fail miserably. And then I went over to L Reloaded that we had started up, and then I tried it one more time, and I got like a 3-star.
You did?
And I said, yeah, well, it might have been like a 98%. It was something really good. And I said, damn, this thing does work. So I come back all, a little full of myself, and I was like, I'm going to try this again. And I got 0 stars and I felt so bad letting the clan down, trying to Hocus Pocus.
But there has to be somewhere where you practice. It's like, I want to do that attack because I've watched, like after, talking, or before I talked with Ash, which was awesome because like his videos were great for us.
Right.
Their Town Hall 10, and he's got the Town Hall 8 videos too.
Right.
And stuff, but a wide range, but it was kind of refreshing to see these Town Hall 10 attacks, from these, big wars. And, I watched a couple of them before. That was one of the attacks on T-Skits. I was like, okay, I'm watching these videos and kind of seeing, what they do for timing. And I did that in the one war too, just with, I think they were using 5 golems because you taught me the 5 golem, and Mighty was doing it too. I think for a while he was
right.
Wasn't he doing 6 at one point?
He may have. I know Mighty's been right there with me. I mean, the 4, 5, and 6 golems. I think I've tried all of them out. And, I even saw some YouTube video where somebody was doing 7 golems. I was like, that's just ridiculous.
My God. I wouldn't know what else to take.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have some hit points in there, and I'm sure it works on occasion, but I don't know how it would be.
Yeah. So now you're practicing on your trophy push the 5 golem.
I use either a 4 golem and a healer combo with wizards and some Valks. Or I use a 5 golem. That when I use a 5 golem, it's just to kind of practice my war attacks.
Yeah, and you do really well because I think you shared one of the replays where you just went in and crushed.
Yeah,
it.
I'm finally figuring it out. I really am. I'm figuring out. I'm feeling confident about it, and I look for certain bases. There's certain bases that I don't want to mess with, but if I have to, I have to.
Then you just take. You probably are somebody that is rare in the game because you like to use the Valks too a little bit.
I love the Valks, and I don't know if it started off where I didn't want to be just a go wiper. I didn't want to be that guy that used what everybody else did. So I was like, what? Nobody uses these Valks. They got to be good at something.
Yeah.
And then I learned when you're doing these 4 and 5 golem attacks, if you let the golems get in there and let them tank, let all the defenses attract the defenses, hit them with the wizards, and then start it. Then drop your jump spell or your wall breakers and get them into the core and just kind of pause for a little bit. Let them get there, work through the base before releasing your Valks. Once the golems are in their base and they're taking all that fire, that's the time to release the Valks. And then the Valks go through, and if you think about it, the golems are going to go through there and trigger all the
traps.
The traps. So that's what you want. You don't want, if you release your Valks too soon, those traps are going to get them, and then they're toast.
Yeah.
But if the golems get in there, start doing their thing, the Valks just go by and just start wrecking stuff.
I think that's been my I think that's been my problem with using Velks with golems, and it's been that my problem with that until you were showing me that one golem attack or the 5 golem on Twitch, kind of being able to walk me through it.
Right.
I was rushing the rest of it. Like I was not letting the golems just sit there while the wizards did work, and then I noticed, and I started only taking 1 rage in. 2 jumps, 2 frees in those attacks. But then even in the center, when I did release the Velks, they were pretty effective, but I bet they would be way more effective if I did what you said and kind of held back longer.
I've learned a lot of different attack strategies. It's all about timing. Everything, whether it's when you drop your spells or when you release this troop or that troop, it's all about timing. There's times I run the same thing over and over and over again, and if I just wait just a little bit longer and let those golems tank a little bit, it's a difference between a 1-star and a 3-star, or it's mind blowing how Supercell does their thing.
That's the hard thing. Is like you practice in the wild, and then you come back and you do it in a war, but then it's so like I get like, okay, here we go. Like I feel this pressure, and so I'm dropping things way faster than I should be. Just trying to get things out, and it's like if I could just pretend that it was, a regular. This doesn't make any difference.
Exactly. Exactly.
Be the master of it.
I agree with you. I agree. And that's why I'm not good at air. It's just because I drop all those deployment of the loons, and you got your pig dogs going in there, and oh man, it's horrible for me. I'm just not an air guy.
Well, it's amazing to watch the good air attackers. Like when I was pushing, I was doing really good with air. It was, but it was more, I guess, more spam. And then I started watching some of our guys go in with the 9s, especially with a very surgical, the right way of doing the.
To me, those are the sexy attacks. Those when somebody does one of those attacks where they bring in, the cold-blooded or the shattered, and then they have their ground force come in there and knock out a certain side of the base, and then they work around the base with the air. That's just sexy. All right, that's just an awesome attack.
That'll be the new thing in L. It's like that when they have an attack like that, we're just you're bringing sexy back.
That's the sexy. Yeah, he's bringing sexy back. That's right.
Yeah, when they drop like the lava hound and it crisscrosses the base and the loons are coming in, I'm like, that's
it
really
blows
cool.
my mind, and I'm just I just try to ram some golems up their ass.
DP, professional clash proctologist.
That's right. He's like, hey, have these golems. See what they're gonna do with you.
Yeah. The pig dogs? Nah. I'm gonna violate this base.
I will say though, when I'm pushing, and every now and then somebody will throw a pig dog in my CC, and I'll. Because I never know what it is. It's like Christmas morning when I release a nice. CC into on my push, and so I never know what it's going to be. And then when I see a pig dog, I'm kind of excited because that pig dog will literally go in there, even though I've got a ground attack. Yeah. It still attracts a lot of defensive stuff, and their heroes lock onto it, or their queen does, anyways.
Well,
and it usually helps me out a lot. I usually do pretty well when I got a pig dog, even on a ground attack.
That's really kind of interesting. Like, I never really thought about using the pig dog so much, but like with the good placement the bad placement of the air defense is, what you've got, like the wizard tower and the archer tower on the air defense, so they're going to be taking all that power, and they're going to get in deeper right away,
right,
as you come in. So that would be kind of interesting thing to try. As
I don't know if I would do it in war or not, but it is I do kind of. It works a lot of the times in the wild.
Yeah. So you don't ask for specific troops when you're pushing.
No, I don't. I just say anything because I that usually means my CC gets filled faster.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not if I sit there and say I need just hogs, or I need just loons, or I need just golem, or just whatever, it takes forever. I mean, not forever, but you know what I'm saying. There's got to be somebody that's making them to donate it for you. But if you say anything, it's
anything.
It's going to be full. You know, within probably 2-3 minutes. And I'm ready. I'm ready to go again.
Do you think it has been post update where loot's been amazing? Everybody kind of dropped trophies and is hardcore farming. In L, hardcore farming heroes, especially.
Yeah.
And DE farming and it is really interesting. And you said it earlier that it's easier when everybody pushes because then
it's more fun when you get everybody pushing. Like if I'm the only person pushing, you kind of lose that fire, you know. Yeah. But when you have some competition, like when Big Fry and Mailman, they were pushing at the same time. You know, you get these internal rivalries that you're just like, well, hell no, I'm not going to let him beat me, or or T-Skit's pushing right now, and I'm like, no, he's not going to do it. I'm going to do whatever I can to beat T-Skits. You know, it's not that I have nothing but respect for T-Skits, but I want to beat him. You know, it's more of a thing that it helps keep you motivated to push. If not, it just kind of gets mundane and monotonous. You know,
we did that race to champs that time. I think it was after right near the time you started.
Yeah.
And we were in House of L, and we were like, okay, let's race to champs. And that was really
exactly. But that's the kind of stuff that gets me fired up, and it was a lot of fun. I lost to you, of course, but
surprisingly, it took me 6 months.
But that was my first time getting there, and you had been there before. And now that I've been there before, it's a lot easier to get back your second, third, and fourth time. That first time, man, is brutal because it turns into a mind game.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at 3,100 cups and you're trying to get the 3,200 cup, that last 100 cups is miserable your first time. It is miserable.
Like, do I log off? You know, do I...
Exactly. You don't know what to do, and you're just like, I got to get this. This is such a cool thing. I got to get this cool badge. And you just want to do it. But I tell you, it's gratifying when you finally do.
Well, maybe what we'll do, but would you want to do a push where we all started at the same place? I mean, that kind of push?
It wouldn't matter to me. I'd go along with whatever. Anything y'all decide.
Because I think it would be fun to do it. Because I think like the longer pushes, like we did it with the Race of Champ was like 3 days, I think, or 4 days it took us. But it would be fun. I always like the idea of starting at the same place to really like.
I think we make it where all the Town Hall 10s have to start at a place, all the Town Hall 9s start at a place.
Yeah, just do a league, like the Town Hall 10 league, the Town Hall 9 league.
Exactly. And then let's make it interesting. We'll throw in a $20 gift card on it or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
It gets you fired up. It gets you want to try to do it even harder.
Maybe what we'll do, because here's what I'm thinking is I think the update's going to be next week.
I hope so. I'm ready. I've been waiting for this thing for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and you know, it seems like it's those times where what was in the last update? It was the air sweeper, right? And and crazy loot afterwards. Some of the matchmaking stuff. Nothing really major.
Nothing mind blowing. Nothing that's really gonna get you excited.
And there was that Chief Pat said it's gonna change the game.
I think they'll throw another troop at us and maybe give us like a new witch or, you know, some upgraded 1 or 2 troops.
I hope so. Well, my spell factory's done, so that, you know, it's cobweb, so that would make complete sense given the history with Clash of Clans. Like every time something happens, It's probably not going to be a new defense because I haven't been
I don't
upgrading
wanna
my
see it.
defenses.
Yeah, I don't want another defense. I'm over defenses. I wouldn't mind seeing some kind of new troop that, and I still stand by my
Battering ram?
battering ram. I want to see a battering ram.
I think that would be awesome.
I don't care for wall breakers. I want a battering ram that will get in there and start pounding, take some defensive hits.
Yeah.
Well, but of course I am the ground guy. So
Yeah, ground and pound.
battering
Something to
ram
help
would
me
be
pound.
right up my alley.
I wonder if there wouldn't be something, and there's been this talk of a troop or something that's going to make Town Hall 9s want to go to 10.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of 9s that are just like the hell with 10. I'm just going to stay right here.
Yeah, and I think that's what Supercell's kind of like issue is that
right.
And I don't remember who's saying this, but that they won't do a Town Hall 11. Was it Daddy maybe? Where they wouldn't do a Town Hall 11 because there's not enough people at Town Hall 10 to go to 11. So like the matchups would be all. So I would think if there was going to be a Town Hall 11, I would think it would have to be after there was a nerf to Town Hall 9.
Right.
Where it made sense because everybody's playing the game right now where the war algorithm.
Something's got to happen where the 9s just have to feel like they have to go to 10.
Yeah. Yep. And like the war algorithm, how everybody has started to play it then with the matchups has been, okay, I'm not upgrading my defenses. I'm just going to work on walls and work on heroes. And so to me, like the thing that makes the most sense would be for Supercell to either change the war algorithm or make a troop or a nerf that.
Right.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Honestly, one of the best things, or one of the things that could really make a difference, is if they took the upgrading the walls with elixir away as a TH9.
True.
That would force, because the 9s, like I went to 10, I think, because I had all my elixir stuff done.
Right.
If I remember right. And so I was like, I'm not wasting elixir. And that forced me up. And of course, I want a dark elixir too. But I would think, and I'm not wishing this on the 9s at all, but I'm just saying logically, I think that would be like the long play if they're going to get people to move forward in the game.
Right. No, I would agree with you. Another thing I think that they're going to have to do eventually is upgrade the wall breaker. I think the wall breaker needs to be upgraded.
Yeah. I really like Mailman's idea about it.
Oh yeah? What's that?
He said it should, when the wall breaker gets shot, it should blow up.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
You're carrying
It's got a bomb in his hand.
Yeah. And so you could think about ways that it could really, if they change the wall breaker back to the way it used to be, where it went straight ahead, that would change it. And it would be cool if they did it where if it got shot, you could think of different ways, like send them in, in the back, who knows, like, but it would be a different type of game, I think.
Sure.
So you did some traveling.
Yeah. I went off and I visited LexCorp and,
were you over there pushing with them? Was that when you were?
Yeah, they started their push thing, and that's when I went over there, and I started pushing over there with them. And LexCorp's got a bunch of great guys over there. They're a little more darker side than a lot of clans I've been into, but they're a lot of fun.
That's what Illness was saying. Like, it's like a bar fight, he said.
It really is. It's I got nothing but love for them, to be honest with you. They're a lot of fun to hang out with and stuff. It's a little more darker and dirtier at times, but but fun. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, no, it's and great people over there, good attackers.
Kent Farmhouse, I've been in there before and hung out with them. They're great people, and Soaz. I kind of made my rounds around all the podcast clans.
I bet you haven't gone to Cadmus.
No, I have not. That's kind of I feel sorry because it's like I always forget about them.
Well,
They were the new one to the party, and I always. But at the same time, I don't want to go over there and screw up their.
yeah, I was
their
saying
war
that to
record.
Arg the other night in the chat. I said because I think Mighty went over there and warred with them.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so. And
I hope he didn't. I hope he won.
He. I said, "Oh, did it, affect the matchup?" And they said, I think he said it was. He said no. But I was just like, because I had fun going over there with my mini and in warring, but they're still on their streak over there.
Yeah, I won't. I don't want to go visit Cadmus until they lose, and I hope they keep winning.
And I think they were at 50 the last time I heard.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much they've been winning, and I do not want to be that guy that causes them any hardships.
That's what I was saying about my mini being there. It's just like, oh. And I took Brittany over to Soaz and warred with them, and I had horrible attacks. I really need to talk to Sass and ask him about the drag attacks with the air sweeper and like the TH8 attacks, because the air sweeper has been messing things up and with the lightning and things like that. But I think there's ways around it. To be honest,
see, I think the sweeper really affects like Town Hall 8s. I think that's where it's really gonna have a problem. But I don't notice it at all. But then again, I don't do many air attacks.
What are you getting attacked with up in Champ?
I would say 70% of it is ground, but every now and then somebody will throw some air at me. And I'm still working on a good defensive base up there. It's like to get to champs, I have no problem with my defenses. But once you're in champs, you got to have your A game if you want to leave your defense base out. Yeah. What I'm prone to doing is I'll go on a boost and I'll attack as much as I can without logging off, and then I'll throw that town hall outside and just.
Take the 1-4 cup loss.
Yeah, I'll take a one. Every now and then you get hit with a 3 or 4 star or cup loss, and But
so you went to Ice Baby too?
Yeah, I went to Ice Baby. Bunch of great guys over there.
What was their wars like?
Ridiculous. It's a whole new mind frame because everybody's got a max Town Hall 10, and everybody's got anti 3-star bases. So
okay. Did you do a war with them?
Yeah, I did. I think 2 wars with them. Yeah, 2 wars. Actually, it was Ice Baby 2. I was getting tried out for the main Ice Baby, and I decided to come back to where I belong in House of L.
Awesome.
But I did well with the Ice Baby too.
Did you?
I got 2 stars both my attacks, but it's a whole nother league. I'll be honest with you. It's done a lot different. And you're basically, when you attack, you're expected to get 2 stars, and luckily I got 2 stars. Yeah. But it's a whole nother level. It really is. Did
you learn anything over there? Like,
yeah, they showed some just crazy attacks that. It's kind of the same thing we've all been doing. I mean, it's a mixture of what a normal
attack
Town Hall 10 is, but then what you see what the 9s do, they're able to do it at the 10 level, which just blows my mind. I can't grasp it yet. There's stuff I'm working on, but
yeah, mixing in more troops, right?
Right. They'll have the ground attack, and then they save the. I don't want to give away too much of the way they attack and stuff, but it's a whole nother game. It's really cool to watch, to be honest with you.
That's really cool.
Anybody that can get up and visit some of those real big guys, I recommend it just to see it.
See the learning experience and how they run the.
We need to. I talked to a couple of the people on there, some of the co-leaders and stuff, and then they want to come on with you and set that up with you. So.
I definitely want to do that. And just kind of hear about it. It's cool to hear how other people like run clans It's really cool to see how other people organize and like they plan attacks or, you know, how they structure the I guess the management type thing.
One of the biggest things that I was just shocked to see when I got up there is I started watching the war that they were in. And I was watching number 18 take on number 1. And I was like, what? But if you think about it, it's really not that out of the norm because they're all max bases anyway.
Yeah.
They all have 40-40 troops, or I would say 95% of them do.
So is it just the walls that factor mostly then, if they're maxed?
Walls and layouts of base. You know, you got to think of different layouts of base. And that can mean a 3-star at that level or not.
Ace of base.
The ace of base. It's when everybody's on the equal level. That's what it's just crazy.
You can kind of work your specialties then.
Yeah. With me, I'm kind of a
ground and pound.
Exactly. And I don't have anything else to offer. I was just glad I got through those 2 wars with a 2-star on each attack. I said, okay, I did my job. I'm not going to try to do the 3-star on these guys.
Well, it's cool to watch like other people too, like do those different attacks. You know,
exactly.
Like I love I think, you know, Clash Callers changed L. I know I've been saying that a lot, but I resisted that for a long time. But it does make a huge difference with getting.
It really does, and I don't know why Supercell hasn't just bought out Clash Caller because it seems like that would be an easy thing to implement into the game.
Yeah,
but it just seems like it would make that, you know, the game that much more fun if they just added it to the game. Yeah,
or you could tag it on the map. You know,
right?
And that helps with the organization. What I like about it too is that way, like, you know, you're up there practicing your armies in Champ. You know, Mailman's been going against, you know, different bases. You know, and what we do is with the 10s, we switch around basically. You kind of adjust to where our strengths are, and so the 10 range, and I think the 9s have been doing this, and 8s too. But you know, I'm just thinking of the people who've been there, you know, the longest. But it frees us to take the base that you know, that maybe is our strengths. And so what we're doing, instead of, you know, people will try new things in new comps. And it's always fun. But then you get to see, you know, people hitting where they reliably should be hitting.
Right.
Just those old problems went away of people trying to hit too high.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's been a really, really fun part of it, lately. And, like learning the 5 golem and kind of just seeing those bases. But, yeah, Mailman, he's been kicking ass on those.
He's been tearing it up.
Yeah. With those, open resource ring bases. And I think he said it really well. He's like, I hate those bases. The first 6 times I went up against him, I failed. And he's like, but now I got the hang of it. So it's, you know, it sounds cool.
It's funny how it grows on you, because I was the same way. There's certain bases where I ultimately just despised.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you crack it once and you're like, oh, how did I do that? And you start watching it over and over again, and it's like, okay, let me try that again. And then it works again, and it's like, okay, I'm getting some confidence built up here. And really, it's all about the confidence level. The more confident you are, and that's I can't stress the whole thing about pushing.
Yeah,
it's because when you push, it's like you're war attacking every attack,
right?
You know, and it has made me a whole new player. I've enjoyed it.
You know, you kind of make me want to start pushing.
Don't get me wrong. Now, if you lose a couple in a row, it'll make you sick. You'll throw out. You want to throw out your iPad out the window, and
I think I could do it with a mentality of, all right, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna give it my all. If I fail, because that was, I think, one of the things, like going back to Champ, was that,
right.
You know, you get to 36 or 31-60 and you lose a battle. Like, don't let it make you like drop.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there was something with an update too that kind of brought the pushing aspect back into the game a little bit, because everybody has been so war focused. But it is amazing that a lot of these really great war attackers have never pushed. But I think it teaches you like learning the 50%, learning how to adjust just like on the fly.
Right.
You know,
exactly. Just to kind of go with what works.
And I was getting DE up there, so
you can find some good attacks. The problem I run into is I'll find something that's really good loot, and then it's like 3 or 4 cups, and I go, okay, that's the trade-off. Do I want? It's a trade-off. Do you want to grab that loot and hopefully get the win, or do you want to? It's nice when you find the best of both worlds, but that doesn't happen too often.
Do you have a goal, like how far you want to go up?
No, I'm just going to keep up. Well, I made it to 3701 or 3702, whatever I made it to last time. So I'll see if I can make it to 3800 next time or 4000. You know, I'm just going to keep rolling.
That'd be, can you imagine just getting up to the very, very, very top?
As long as you're winning your attacks, it's okay. And when you start losing, that's when it gets expensive, because all your resources just deplenish very fast.
Yeah,
because you can get away with losing one attack, but when you lose more than one in a row, you're out of resources.
I'd like to see them do champ leagues, like champ 3, 2, and 1.
That would be cool.
Because then,
I'd like to see it too.
Because then you could, the bonus is really when you're pushing is what you are.
I would like to see them create a whole nother level, just because when you make it to 3,200, you're champs. That's great. But the 3,200 guys versus those 4,000 guys it's night and day.
Yeah.
You know, it's when some of those guys come down and attack me.
So, like before we wrap up, I just want to. So, what does your day in Clash look like? I asked Sass this too. Like, what's your rhythm? Like,
well, I wake up and I wait till my wife jumps in the shower so she doesn't see me clashing again. And I usually get one attack in the morning, and then I get the kids ready for school, and we get going, and all that good stuff. And then I get to, and I'm in sales, so I drive to my first stop, and I'll have another quick raid right before I go into that meeting. And then I go into my meeting, and then when I get back in the car, if I got my troops all set up, I'll try to raid again. If not, I'll set it up for my next stop. And basically, I try to raid between every stop.
Nice.
And I see probably anywhere between 20 to 30 people a day, and that's all I do. Is as long as my internet on my phone's working good, and I can let my iPad play, I'm good.
Do you have an embarrassing Clash story at all?
No, I will say I have one account that I went into, and I'm trying to sell them some stuff, and I walk in, and these guys are all playing Clash, and I just it was a restaurant I was going after. I was trying to sell them on a bunch of stuff that I sell, and they're all the managers and the owners are all in the office, all playing Clash like they just found it. And I just chuckled, and they were like, Justin, and I'd talked to them a few times. I just got it. They were like, Justin, don't judge us. And I said, okay. And I said, what you guys playing over there? And they said, oh, just this little kiddie game, man. Don't worry about it. And I just kind of chuckled a little bit. I'm like, do they even know who they're talking to? And I said, so what game is that? And they like, it's called Clash of Clans, and I'm a Town Hall 6 right now, and I got my dragons here, and they were telling me a little bit about it, and I was like, yeah, I've been known to play that every now and then. And they're like, oh, so you Clash too? I was like, yeah. And they were like, well, show us your base. And I said, okay. Man. And then they saw it, and it was like all black walls and everything, and they were like, holy hell.
That is awesome.
So they said, well, when we get good enough, we want to come find you. And I got them all turned on to the podcast and everything. I told them all about Clash of Clans podcast, and they said, "Oh, that's cool." Anyway, they ended up giving me a real big order, and
That's
it kind of
awesome.
cemented the deal. From there on out, they still call me to this day, not only about work related stuff, but
what should
just
I
about
take in
Clash.
against this
They're
guy?
like, "Okay, I'm going to Town Hall 9. What? In fact, I just got a call yesterday from the owner. He goes, "I'm going to Town Hall 9. What should I upgrade first?" And I said, "Man, just work on those troops first and foremost. The troops and heroes and walls." So
That's awesome.
It was fun though. That's my claim to fame there.
That's so cool. That's really cool. Well, hey man, I know you got to get going. We've been doing this one during the day, so
Yeah.
And-
Scotty, it's always a pleasure.
yeah, man, definitely, and we'll have to do it again, and of course, twitching, and anytime we do anything like that. So,
I always enjoy it, and we all appreciate what you and Boneyard do, and just keep up the good work, man.
thanks. Well, get a hold of us. At Scotty827 is me. Do you want to give your Twitter?
Yeah, I'm at Pirate Dirty, at Pirate Dirty.
At Pirate Dirty.
Evidently, Dirty Pirate was taken, so Pirate Dirty.
That's Nate was on. Well, I guess I better not give out his Skype name, but it was the Soaz podcast. He has a really funny name.
Yeah.
So I guess I guess I better not say that because everybody knows Skype ID. But at WBSMT Radio and ClashClansPodcast.com, you can find out all the contact information, find out more about the Kryptonian family of clans if you want to join and be part of the House of El, House of Zod, Kent Farmhouse, Cadmus, Project Cadmus, House of Non, Phantom Zone, Smallville 87, rocking it over there too. All Town Hall 7s and 8s. It's really
That's
cool.
right.
A big shout out to Worm and Kaz. So, all right, everybody. Well, keep it clashy. Thanks, Dirty Pirate, for being here. It's fun talking to you again.
Scotty, it was a pleasure, man. Keep it clashy.
Keep
Later,
it
guys.
Clashy.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.